This is definitely the start of the game. This is Rifkin. I'm Cassie with Masan, and spotted here in the lower left corner of Daybreak. In this first game of best of 3, it is MetHiX playing from Gizmo.
It's spawning on top right corner. From Team Acer, Zerg player, Bly.
Now, Bly's kind of a scary guy, but I feel he's kind of this declawed cat a bit. He was one of the fiercest Zergs in Wings of Liberty, and I think everybody would be scared to fight him, but in Heart of the Swarm, he is most recently making stellar results, but it took him a long time to get to here.
I always paid attention to the Bly's play in Wings of Liberty because he always went for that Ling banning drop on Colossus.
Yeah, he would do the cool stuff, like the really aggressive cool stuff. Like, I feel him and Nurchio, I know Nurchio has said in interviews he doesn't practice with teammates or anything, but I'm sure he must discuss strategies, because I find Bly's playstyle to be very similar to that of Nurchio's, in the effect that they're both very aggressive when they need to be, and when they are, they're very scary, but they're also very defensive when they need to be as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's one of the only Zerg who went for banning drops in Wings of Liberty. And he was also one of the only Zerg who went for link speed every single game and opened a 2-base against Force Fast expansion until very, very, very late stage of Wings of Liberty. So I'm excited to what he has for us on Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, there's this one video I always harken back to. The coolest thing was, like, Bly was that guy who every time Protoss went Force Fast expand, and oh, are you getting some lag spikes or is this just me?
Think it might be just you.
Okay, well, I hope that's not problematic. If it becomes problematic, let's leave. But one of the things for Bly that I always enjoyed was Protoss would go Forge Fast Expand, and always you'd see a Protoss player use part of their wall as a cybernetics core. And Bly would do 2-base roaches, not all in, but 2-base roaches, just so they could take down that cyber core very early on and basically outrange the cannon. So at that point, when I started seeing him do moves like that, I was like, oh, I love watching this guy play. 6 links gonna come across the field. You can, if the Protoss player doesn't wall this off, get 2 of them, sometimes 3 alive, past the cannon into the main.
Oh man, I always enjoy doing that. If Protoss doesn't wall off, and you can always say whether Overlord, whether he has a probe there or not.
Yeah, you know, it's been a while since he played, but my favorite player was Chef. He was one of those guys where if he got 2 links in the main, he could almost win the game with just those 2 links. But okay, Bly seeing no wall off, is gonna go for it.
Wow, he only lost 2 links.
But he's gonna lose another 2 trying to get up to the main. Is the problem. But that's okay.
He doesn't need to though, or will he? Oh, he does go for it.
Oh, actually, only loses 1, so 3 do make it up here, and this could be very problematic for MetHiX because, of course, when you don't have a stalker on the field, dealing with these lings is very problematic. Yeah, oh, almost gets that one. Almost, but almost only counts in horseshoes and grenades or something is the saying, I believe.
As long as you micro properly, you're not supposed to lose any links, so...
Yeah, the regen's quite nice, and they are, of course, very fast compared to the base move speed of probes, but, ooh, one of these links is so low, Masan.
Oh, man. Barely doesn't get it.
7 health.
Zilla's popping out now, so he will take care of this soon.
But the Zealot still can't really keep up with the lings, so, I mean, ring around the rosy, a very common thing to do. This is a lot of...
you don't have to pull probes anymore.
Yeah, in this case. Absolutely. But this is a lot of attention now being spent on this, where Bly, I mean, he doesn't have to micro intensely, and he does get the 1 probe. Very nice.
Yep, and managed to pull all the probes, half the probe actually, from the main line.
Yeah, and while that's only like a millisecond or 2 of mining loss, it's still, it's time lost. I mean, these are things that should not be happening. And ooh, 1 Zergling left. Not gonna really do too much. Nope, never mind. Gets sliced and diced.
Have to keep those alive, and well, we'll see if that will cost him later on or not.
Well, let's hope it doesn't, because I'd like to see a lot of games come out of Bly here today. Looking at what's currently on the brackets, for those who aren't paying attention to ZOTAC, we've got Hamfy. I guess LiveZerg taking a disqualify? What?
Ooh, what?
Because it says Hamfy's already advanced to the finals. There's no way he 2-0'd LiveZerg already. That's just time-wise impossible. It's been 7 minutes since that series we just cast, so one of these players, I guess, will be going to fight Hamfy in the finals. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, LiveZerg, we just finished casting LiveZerg's third game, so...
Yeah, that's so weird.
Makes too much sense.
Ooh, Bly just barely loses it. That is unfortunate. Losing Overlords in the early game is never fun. I mean, Larva, when you don't have an abundance of Larva in the early game, that
Mhm.
Overlord loss kind of sucks, but a Stargate and a Robo, I'm really curious if this is going to be the sort of bait and switch mechanics that we all see Protoss do. You know, get the Phoenixes out, bait the Hydra, switch to Colossus. Because this is a quite early Robo to pair with this.
Look what I see on the Zerg side of the map.
Hmm?
Look what I see on the Zerg side of the map.
I'm looking, but I'm blind apparently. Fill me in, my son.
There's a proxy pylon in
Oh!
when yeah.
Sorry, I was looking for like in the Zerg bases. I thought you meant like he had like a Nidus or something crazy that I was missing coming down.
Oh no, no, no.
No, you're right. This pylon will be a very big pain to deal with. Okay, that's not us lagging by the looks of it. Thank goodness.
I don't think so.
No, I saw it was
Since
one of
I
the other
saw that.
ops. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so 4-gate pressure with 5 stalkers total coming in. Does Supply have linked speed done? Yes, it does. Wow, so he will clean this up if Ross decides to stay.
And he's got enough roaches to bully this too. So I mean, it's not an over dedication of roaches, but paired with these lings, we'll have no problem driving off. But the third base has got to be careful. Gonna take a little bit of heat if he doesn't respond. Alright, never mind. Stalker's just gonna back off for the time being. Meanwhile, Overlord trying to scout the main still gets picked off despite that lovely speed advantage. Phoenixes are quite fast.
Yep. And Robotech being... Wait, what did he make Robo for? Oh, okay. He just made the Robo for Observer for now, and think he's gonna try to take the third if he can get those Stalkers alive back home. But it's gonna be very difficult.
Oh, I love that. Moving ahead, getting the surround off, blocking them from moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna lose all these Stalkers now, Masan. That's not good.
It's not good at all, because he has... well, he has a Robo, he has a Stargate, so he's definitely looking forward to take the third base very soon, but it's gonna be very difficult.
Masan still hasn't scouted, or sorry, not Masan. Bly still hasn't scouted the pylon. Just now scouts it. That's interesting. Because, I mean, he saw the warpins earlier. I know, like, he physically saw the warpins, but he didn't see the pylon, I guess. Always weird to see, but okay, this Phoenix is now in his base. Observer coming up to the main as well. Gonna see there's no spores, so gonna be happy to start picking off these queens, and that's actually gonna hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Uh-oh. Did I just hear Spire? Oh.
You did, and we got 10 Mutalists on the way, but the Overlord just barely missing the creep block here at the third.
Oh no.
Like, the creep went down at the same time as the Nexus. Nice transfuses though, keeping the queen alive. It is taking away the energy of the queen, but okay, whatever. It forces another liftoff.
Phoenix not focused.
Oh, another transfuse!
Oh my.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Bly not losing a single queen. They're talking about control. And now Mutalisks are on the field. And, you know, the thing about Mutalisks, you know, in a perfect world, a Phoenix will never die to a Mutalisk. But there's very rarely a perfect world. You know, a lot of bait and switch, stop, run, turn around, like on a dime type
It's
thing.
a little bit harder in Heartless form, but yeah, there's never a perfect world.
Yeah. If there's like, I mean, we talk about gods like Flash and all that all the time, but really, no one plays perfect 100% of the time. And Bly is going to be happy to find that, okay, this is already overcharged a little preemptively. Attack here at the third, but the Mutalisks are going to come in here. There's just not a lot of anti-air.
No cannons going up either, so it's just going to rely on Phoenix to deal with, engagement at the third base.
Stalker's being warped in behind us. Now Bly's got to turn around and get out of here, or he's going to lose a lot of these... Oh, doesn't want to take the fight with the Phoenix. He's going to turn around and just try to finish off more Stalkers, I guess, by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with the end results with this, of this. And he's making 12 corruptors.
You know what that is? That is like, fuck you, Phoenix corruptors is what that is. Because, of course, now, the funny thing is, we got the fleet peeking on the field. If Anion Pulse Crystals get researched, suddenly the Phoenixes outrange the corruptors by 1, but still, it's very difficult to maintain that range advantage, despite how awesome it is that they can shoot and move.
Indeed it is, unless the Protoss goes for double Stargate, in which Phoenix actually can deal with the corruptor pretty well, just because of sheer number.
Yeah, you brute force, basically. And Corruptors, of course, they don't get the bonus damage for Phoenixes, but Phoenixes also don't get the bonus damage for Corruptors, so it's kind of like the weirdest air battle. Like, there's no bonus going out whatsoever.
Yep.
Okay, here are a lot of these Corruptors, and Anion Pulse Crystals do not exist, so we cannot outrun these. Ooh, 2 Phoenixes going down immediately.
Phoenixes.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough, but that's okay. He's got the Stalkers underneath this and a Mordor too, but, I mean, really, The Corruptors are not that scary right now. There's nothing following up underneath. He's making a lot of Lings and Roaches back at home, but I mean, they're not Broodlords yet. There's nothing. This is not like a carrier that, you know, MetHiX has to hide. He's perfectly fine losing these Phoenixes if that ends up being the case.
I just realized he did see the Immortal, like one Immortal and nothing else at the when he attacked into the third, so he must have thought the Protoss was going for Colossus, and it makes perfect sense. He will make 12 Corruptors like that, but he did not go for Robopay. He's just going for Blink and the Mass Gateway army along with Immortals. So,
oh man, we got a lot of Zealots positioned here at the third, predicting some sort of run by, and that's exactly what Bly's trying to do. But he's not going for the third; he's going for the fourth, and probably will go into the natural afterwards. Masan, did you ever play World of Warcraft, by the way?
I actually haven't. Well, I did after Wings of Liberty came out.
Okay, well, you know how mages could polymorph things, like basically sheep people.
Yeah.
I've always seen Phoenix as like the StarCraft mages, where it's like, hey, you might not be useful later on, but at least you can crowd control everything by picking it up. But unfortunately,
going at the Zerg 4th base, it's not going to go well for Protoss.
Oh, full surround going off. The force field's a little bit too late. The Immortals getting taken down almost, actually not being focused down at all. Now they're going to be focused down with corruption on them. Going down very quickly, and that's going to be so unfortunate. But the reason I was bringing up that reference is because normally you keep the Phoenixes alive, you pick units up, you crowd control them, basically like mages with polymorph. But with this many Lings on the field and Roaches, it doesn't matter how many Phoenixes you have, they'll never pick up this army.
You're right. Well, speaking of the focus fire, actually, I don't think the Zerg player needs to focus fire on Immortals because his main force is composed of the Lings, not the Roaches.
Either way, I mean, like, it's kind of that point, too, where Bly can kind of A-move when he takes these fights. I mean, it's 200 to 130% Bly. It's a little ridiculous. We've got Tempest coming on the way, but Tempests are not the way you deal with Corruptors. They're great for dealing with Broodlords, but Corruptors are just going to swarm in and kill them.
I think he's expecting... Yeah, he did see the hype, so he's actually expecting Broodlord switch anytime soon. And he will see the Greater Spiral being warped in.
Phoenix is unfortunately finally going to go down, taking out a couple Overlords and some drones on their way though. But it's, you know what, like, even if he did have Broodlords, that's not where the focus should be. There's still all these Lings on the field that he can't deal with effectively. There's no Colossus, there's no real Archons or anything, no Storm. I mean, how do you deal with this many Lings with just Stalkers? You need either way more Zealots or less Immortals. I don't know which, but what he has is not looking too good.
Not at all. If he didn't lose his practically entire army next to the fourth base. Oh man.
Third base has nothing guarding it anymore. He had Zealots here for the longest time. And he focused down the Nexus immediately. Post being pulled, but
it is gonna go down.
Yeah, that was just butter on a hot day. I don't know, man. It just melted. But double time warps going down in the same spot. I think Gizmo's MetHiX here a little panicking right now.
The Tempest goes down as well.
Yeah, despite the time warp, Ling's still just running right through it. Now, the Immortals and Stalkers actually are going to clean up a good chunk of this. The Infestor's going to go down as well, but losing that third base, absolutely painful. He couldn't afford that at this point in the game.
Nope, especially since the main base got mined out. It only has 5 live mineral patches, one with 5 minerals, one with 100. So yep, not looking too good for Protoss player.
You know, Bly, as far as he's been hit, he's actually starting to even out the supply. The reinforcing of 12 Ultralists, though, is going to make me change my mind on that.
Oh my!
Oh my god!
I didn't see that actually.
He just went from 120 supply to near max with 12 Ultras. Is basically what he just did. Now, I don't believe chitinous plating is. Let's check this. Yeah, there's no chitinous plating, but you don't really need it when you're just going to brute force your way in. I mean, Tempests are on the field, and Tempests aren't the best way to deal with Ultras. If he's got Ling Ultra as the main composition. There's no answer to that. He's got a couple of Immortals that lived, but I mean 3 Immortals versus a lot of Lings and Ultralisks. Yeah, they might take out a couple of the Ultras, but they're not going to exactly hold.
Wait a minute. Oh wow, they took out the... They used to do 40 damage against the Ultras.
For what, the Tempest or the Immortals you mean?
Tempest.
Yeah, they took out, there's no ground bonus anymore, it's just versus air, so I think, was it like close to 100 versus air, right? Yeah, 80 damage versus air, massive.
Yep, 80 damage.
But they just tickle Ultras. I mean, it's a huge hit, and it's from long distance, sure, but it's got such a long cooldown on that attack, and that's the problem with the Tempest.
Yep. Well, Bly not gonna engage, and
You know, honestly, I would have loved to have seen, because we had the double star get up so early. Mass Phoenix, or sorry, not Phoenix, Void Rays, I think would have been a much better response.
Void Ray would be amazing against
Yeah.
Ultras.
But ooh, taking a fight in the choke, Bly does have to back off. But if the Stalker army chases too far,
Oh man. Okay,
Wow.
coming from the very bold playing forward.
yeah, and he actually managed to get an Ultralisk with that. But with these spines here, combined with the army actually existing now, I think we had some Broodlords, Marfin, if I'm not mistaken. Where are they? Yeah, a couple of them, not too many.
A couple of them.
It's always nice to have a couple of Broodlords on the field. Players like TLO as well, they incorporate like 3 with every build they do, just for the free units. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have, but it's kind of sometimes can be cost inefficient. But there we go, the Corruptor's now going to work on the Tempest. Only 3 of them taking them down very quickly, actually. He did get some more. Where are they? Oh, there we go, flooding in from the southern part of the map.
Why going for a counterattack instead of trying to defend this? I'm actually very surprised on that.
It's because he can't fight at the ramp. He has to fight in an open space. These Ultralisks are great, but they're clunky, they're chunky, and I'm sure you've experienced they can die in stupid ways. And this might be one of them. Alright, he's going to take out these Archons lickety-split, but the Hardened Shields for the Immortal are going to keep them alive quite some time. There are so many Immortals with this. We see the Ultras actually go down very quickly, but so are the Immortal counts. And Stalkers and Archons alone are not going to cut it. Broodling's also coming in from behind. Bly getting out of that with 4 Ultras alive. That's more than enough to force a GG.